All right, we are sitting with Rachel Bendayan, and we're just talking about motherhood, new motherhood, because we both have little ones. But Rachel is actually here to talk about politics. You are seeking the Liberal nomination for the Outremont riding. Thank you so much for taking the time for us.
Of course.
We're going to get to know you. We're going to get to know, I mean, this isn't your first foray into politics, right? Let's go back to 2015. As the Liberal candidate, you went up against Mulcair and Outremont, and, you know, Mulcair took it, which was a big, I mean, Outremont had been Liberal for a very long time, and then it went NDP. So take me back to that time. Tell me what you think happened. Tell me how you saw the change happening there.
Well, Mr. Mulcair ran in a by-election in 2007, so now just over 10 years ago. And it was really, from what I hear on the ground, from a lot of hard work. And I kind of took that model myself. In 2015, I was nominated a year in advance of the election, and I knocked on 30,000 doors.
30,000 doors, yeah.
It's a lot of doors, a lot of shoes in the garbage. But the feeling I got from people was really one of trust, because I took the time to talk to them and I took the time to listen, and I think that bore out in the ballot box, because when you look at the results, I increased the Liberal vote share by 20%.
Wow.
And came just within a few thousand votes of the leader of the official opposition and a household name.
Yeah.
So people did remember that, and now when I walk down the street, people recognize me, people remember me, and we still have that trust. So I'm building on that, and I think that's important.
As you're seeking the nomination right now, let's talk a little bit about your knowledge, your experience of Outremont, which is a very diverse, there's a very strong Jewish community there, a community that you're part of. I want to just ask you a little bit about, of course, Pittsburgh, and about the devastating shooting there. You were at the memorial last night here in Montreal, right? So
I was at the Beth Israel Beth Aaron synagogue for the vigil, along with thousands and thousands of Montrealers of all faiths, and it was very heartwarming to see so many Montrealers come together for the vigil, and the message was really one of strength and one of hope and one of a world without hate one day, and coming together in order to make that possible. Which
plays into and actually contributes to your platform in Outremont, because there have been tensions in Outremont, right? Take us through that situation. You know, we heard about the school buses and where the Jewish community there can build a synagogue or not. So there are issues there. There's some tensions. How do you plan to address them, and what exactly are you looking at?
There have been some identity politics. There's been issues, as you mentioned, at a recent municipal council meeting in which people were protesting Jewish school buses. I believe that one of the most important issues facing our community right now is really this coming together, the vivre ensemble. How do we make Outremont into one strong community that supports the diversity that we have? And I do that every day. I do that by bringing people together at our events. I do that by, talking to people at the doors. And one of the things that I think is so important is really having that leadership at the federal level. And I think our Prime Minister is really showing the example by talking about the strength of the diversity of Canada.
But Rachel, I have to ask you, right, because on the federal level is one thing, but if we look at what's happening on the provincial level, we've got the CAQ, the majority government, they're talking about religious symbols and who can wear a kippah and who can wear a hijab. How do you plan to make that make sense in a riding as diverse as Outremont, with members of that community that are going to be facing incredible challenges if this actually goes through? What's the plan?
Well, what I'm hearing is that the Quebecers, and certainly those in Outremont, do not want to see a ban on religious symbols. And as the Prime Minister has said many times, it's not the place of government, be it provincial, be it federal, to tell people what to wear. And I think that the personal freedom that each person has is so important when it comes to expressing their own beliefs. And when you see some of the, I mean, I don't want to criticize, but when you see, Mr. Legault talking about the importance of removing religious symbols, but not the cross that's in the National Assembly, I mean, you have to wonder. So right now, I think people are focused on the importance of coming together, of supporting each other in times of need. As we saw, the Muslim community has been hugely, hugely supportive of the Jewish community, and I think we need to build on that.
So that's the message you're going to be putting out there
absolutely.
As you seek to get, again, the Liberal nomination to become the Liberal candidate there for the Outremont riding. Rachel Bendayan, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned. So much more to come. You're watching Breakfast Television on City TV.